AI is really exposing something deep about what we are as human beings. I know we think about AI as artificial intelligence, but have you thought about it as artificial intimacy? You know, these large language models, they're programmed to build relationships with their users. It's a product at the end of the day, and the designer of that product wants people to use it and to keep using it. And so these large language models build relationships with their users, and they do that chiefly through mimicry. They follow your pattern of speech and they reflect it back to you. They mirror your likes and your dislikes. They are really programmed to reflect you back to you. And we all know that our favorite subject is you, right? So that's a really potent hook to get us to use the product. But that hook has also given rise to an entirely new ecosystem of digital companions, where people are forming these intimate relationships with their AI. They have digital boyfriends and digital girlfriends. You can chase this up on YouTube, Google it, see for yourself. There are products that you can download where you can do things like, take a selfie in front of, your favorite tourist attraction or at a bar somewhere or something like that. And the app will insert the avatar of your digital boyfriend or girlfriend, and you can share that on the net. Look, I'm nearly 50, and so I still find dating apps weird. This is a little out there for my tastes, but this is going on. This is what's happening in the world. But what does it tell us? I think it tells us something really interesting about what we are as human beings. We are hardwired for relationship, to the degree that we will even form relationships. Well, actually, we'll form relationships with just about anything. We'll have fur babies, where we form these really deep connections with our pets. Or we'll have these deep, intimate relationships with AI. That tells us something about what we are. And it raises a question: why? Why are we like this? Why are we so drawn, so committed to relationship? Now, the evolutionists will tell us that that's just pure social utility. The herd survives better together, and so we build relationship to increase our survivability as a species. But we're talking of next level stuff here. What we're talking about is people isolating themselves, not gathering together in communities, not social utility. They're isolating themselves from community and building artificial relationships with digital entities, having digital companions, and believing that they're in love and that these AIs love them back. That's different. That speaks to something far greater, far deeper than social utility. So why? Why is it? Well, I think to get at the answer to that question, we've got to ask two other questions. What's the nature of reality? And what are we as humans? John chapter 1 tells us something profound, and I just come back to this passage again and again. It says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, the same was in the beginning with God. And all things were created through him. Nothing that was made without him. And so we see here something really fascinating. We see that at the beginning of all creation, before anything came to exist, there is this thing called the Word, the Logos. And the Logos is both God and is with God. And so it's telling us at the very core of who God is in the Christian conception of God, there is a relationships of persons. There is a relationship at the very core of who God is. And this relational God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, has created everything that has come to exist. So we think of what reality is. Reality is grounded and founded in the God who is relational. That makes reality relational at its core. Because before anything came to exist, there is a loving relationship in the community of the Trinity. All reality is relational because it's grounded and founded and created by the relational God. And this God creates us as human beings. Genesis chapter 1 tells us that we are made in his image and likeness. What does that mean? Well, if we take likeness first, we are made like God because we are made for a relationship with him. And if we're going to have a relationship with God, then we have to be like him in certain ways in order to facilitate that relationship. And so God is a relational being, and so we have been made to be relational beings. God is a communicative being. We are communicative beings. God is a creative being. We are creative beings. God is a rational being. And so we've been granted rational capacity so that we are like him. And so we're made like him in order to facilitate our relationship to him. And we are made in his image. We are made to reflect his character and nature to him, to each other, and to all of creation. Then in Genesis chapter 2, it tells us that it is not good for the man to be alone. Why? It's not good for the man to be alone. Two things. Because a man in isolation is living in contradiction to the very nature of reality itself. Reality is relational. Human beings are made to be relational too. When we live isolated lives, it's not that we are missing something, or rather it's not only that we're missing something. We are rubbing up against the very grain of reality. It's not good for the man to be alone. But secondly, we are made in the image and likeness of God. And no single person can image the character and nature of the relational God. It takes the relationships of persons to reflect the character and nature of the relational God. And so we need to be in relationship, both because it reflects the very nature of reality as it is, and the very nature of what we are as human beings. This explains why we will form relationships with anything, because we are hardwired for relationship. And when we don't have that relationship, we'll seek it anywhere and with anything. AI is revealing something very deep about what we are as human beings, and in fact about the very nature of reality itself. The call of the Christian faith is to come into reality, to step into reality as it actually is, the relational reality in which we find ourselves, the relational reality that is grounded, founded, created by the relational God, and we are called to step into that reality by coming into relationship with him, and that relationship will change the way we relate to everything. Come to Jesus, the way, the truth, and the life. Come to reality. Come to faith. Just a thought.